Hello and welcome to the Essence in You. I am your host, Sheila, and today I am welcoming my goddess friend, Dr. Deborah Carson. Let me tell
Thank
you
you.
how I met Miss Deborah. I met her at a goddess retreat that was hosted by Abiola Abrams, who is our heart. She's our heart. She's our boon coon. Yep, she is our boon coon. And when I met her, she had the most genuine, beautiful smile. Her radiance just radiated out. She was warm. She was loving. She was kind. And she just generated this warmth within you
Mm.
or within me. And let me tell you, I don't warm up to a lot of people. I am like one of them people that stand off and be like, mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But she was so gentle. She was honest. She was just my girl. That's it. She was just my girl. She became my girl right from the start, right there, right there. And we were inseparable. Though I say, I don't know what she says, but that's what I
No, I
say.
say the same thing. It happened.
It happened.
It was
And
supposed to.
mhm. So Miss Deborah, would you please tell us a little bit about yourself?
Oh, wow. Let's see. Well, let me just say, Goddess Sheila, thank you so much for even inviting me to your podcast and just a big, big, deep bow to you and congratulations for starting your podcast. I just believe that everybody over 50 should start a YouTube channel.
Hmm.
I believe
I
that.
agree.
Yeah.
I
So
agree.
a little bit about me, nothing really special. I am I am retired. I'm a retired social worker. From Washington D.C. I was born and raised in Washington D.C. and now I live in Charlotte, North Carolina. I also am a resident of Panama. I lived in San Carlos, Panama for a year. And then life brought me back to the United States. You can't make no money over there. You got to do it over here and then go
Right.
over there. So I have been working in social work all of my career. I just spent my life just serving people, my career life anyway, and I enjoyed it. I was just telling my co-host for Beyond Belief that I really loved my career. I did. I loved helping people. I loved serving children. I love protecting children and
Hmm.
restoring families and yeah, just midwifing people, to a place of transformation. And I've always pretty much done that. So around COVID time, I retired early because it was just a lot going on in the world and in the United States. And that's when I moved to Panama. I just felt like I wanted to get out of here. It was just so much going on because I said,
Hmm.
geez, I'm almost 60 and we're still mistreating people of color. Like we're
Hmm.
still marching about our existence. And I was angry. I was mad.
Hmm.
I was angry and I felt homicidal. So I left the country. I'm just being 100.
What I tell
I
you about
did.
that honesty? Didn't I tell you she was honest?
I felt homicidal like I've never felt before. Like people are not just going to kill our men and think it's okay. So, I needed to go there and I did go there and restoration and transformation just happened for me over there.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, I had to release that anger and it wasn't, a lot of anger. So I had to get in touch with myself and I got in touch with my ancestors over there. So I did. I did. I called on them and they have shown up and so they are here with me. So yeah, my work has just kind of led me to what I'm being prepared to do now and that's just midwife women
Hmm.
through their transformation. I lived in a lot of fear for most of my life. And
Hmm.
so and so yeah, it's just no time for that anymore. I am I'm moving from fear to freedom. And
Mm-hmm.
that's just where I am right now.
Which
So
that is the name of your
that's the name
YouTube
of
channel.
yes, it is the
Yeah.
Fear to Freedom
Yeah.
Project. And I said, I am my own project, goddess. It was not even for anyone else. It was me. When I was over in Panama and I was calling my ancestors and they were really speaking to me through the oracles, and I would just feel a lot of things inside of me. And that's when I was given the Fear to Freedom Project. And I'm like, what? What is that for? Where's,
Mm-hmm.
what is it about? And I didn't know
Mm-hmm.
what it was about until like 2 years later. 2 years later.
So when did you start it? How long have you been doing it?
I
The Fear to
started my
Freedom Project.
channel. Yes, I
Mm-hmm.
started that channel in March last year. So it's been a year,
Oh,
a little over a
okay.
year. I started in
Here.
March. Yeah. And
And you
my
started it
because I wanted to face
why?
my fear. I wanted to be seen. Like Goddess Abiola is doing the visibility challenge through the faces of
Mm-hmm.
Oshun. I wanted to
Yes,
be
she is.
seen. I feel like I have a wealth of information and wisdom and support for other people. I just have a lot to say, and my work is not finished here. So I'm thinking, how am I, like, what can I do? And people have been saying, start a YouTube channel. I'm like, oh my gosh, like that's really being seen, like
Mm-hmm.
all the world. And yeah, being honest, I just was afraid of it. So I said, what the heck? I'm going to do a recording and I don't have to post it. I can just record myself. And I
Mm-hmm.
recorded myself saying, what I wanted to say, what the channel was about, and what I was aiming to do. And I showed it to my daughter and she was like, you should really like post that. That's very sincere. And at the time, my daughter was challenging herself. She was facing a fear and she was getting ready to make a big move in her life. And I thought, man, she's getting ready to make a big move in her life. And I am being afraid just to go on a YouTube channel. So
Mm-hmm.
it just encouraged me and inspired me to just go on. And really, at the end of the day, like, I'm not that spectacular that somebody is just going to be thinking about me and talking about me and everything. So I was like, hey, people got their own stuff to think about. They're not going to be thinking about me and talking about me. So yeah, that's just kind of how I feel. It's been about a year.
So how have you grown just from doing your channel and the people that you have come in contact with in that environment and the people you interviewed?
Oh gosh. So I really started off interviewing people because there are people that impact my life. And as a social worker, one of the skills that a social worker should have is resources.
Mm-hmm.
I like the fact that I always had resources. I would never tell people I don't know because,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I can find out. Let me just find out. And then once I find out, either that something does not exist or it does, but never I don't know. So I wanted to bring resources to people around the world. There were people that had impacted my life so greatly, and so I wanted to start highlighting them. And in the beginning, it was really easier, so to speak, to take the spotlight off of myself.
Mm-hmm.
So me kind of transitioning into being seen, that was an easier way than me just going out there and start talking about whatever it is I'm wanted to talk about. So it worked that way, but now it's transitioned into so many amazing things. And
Mm-hmm.
I have grown in such a way that I trust myself. This
Mm-hmm.
is fun. And
Mm-hmm.
all I have to do is to actually just live my highest desire. I don't have to
Mm-hmm.
think about anything. I'm not thinking about the outcome of anything. I just thought it was a cool lot. Well, I was facing my fears at first, but once I got into the YouTubing and podcasting, I thought it was pretty cool,
Mm-hmm.
to come on here and to have conversations with people. And it helps me to connect with people around the world. that
Mhm.
share the same sentiments and feelings and fears that I do. And then
Mhm.
together we can like transition and transform ourselves
Mhm.
together, because
Mhm.
we cannot do this alone. We just cannot do this alone. We're not alone. We have our
Mhm.
ancestors, we have our angel guides, our spirit guides, our medicine guides, we have all of our helpers, our entire team. So we're not alone. It's just that in this reality, in this earthly reality, sometimes we isolate ourselves, and it's easier for us to hide and to
Mhm.
kind of shift into the darkness. And I don't want to do that. We all need each other's magic. This is the reason why we're
Mhm.
here on earth, to
Mhm.
share, to connect, to understand that we're not here. We're here not just for ourselves, but also for the collective, for every soul that's here. We all agreed
Mhm.
to it, you know. So
Mhm.
it's just become it's become a place where I can connect with others and to enjoy the relationship and community with other people, to learn from them. Yeah, it's just really transformed me. It's helped me to really like get out of my shell.
Mhm.
And you know what's so funny, Goddess Sheila? In my professional career, I was a keynote speaker. I, had to go on platforms and talk about lots of things, mental health issues, school issues, lots of truancy issues,
Mhm.
lots of professional topics. And I was never afraid. I was always like, yes, this is what I'm going to do. But it's something about when you start to get authentic and real with yourself that makes you
Mhm.
feel like, oh man, I can't hide anymore. Somebody's going to
Yep.
know what I'm thinking about or what I'm saying or what I went through. And you fear being judged and
Mhm.
criticized,
Mhm.
because that's something that we
Absolutely.
do really well as humans, okay?
Yes, we do.
we
Yes, we do.
judge and criticize and do all of those things. So I was fearing that, but I don't fear that anymore. I don't feel like that anymore. I'm
Mhm.
just doing what I love.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Me
that's
too.
to
Following
be
your
in.
You're following your essence.
I am following my
Mm.
essence.
Mhm.
I really
Yep.
am. I like the
Mhm.
name of that. Following my
Yep.
essence. And
Yep.
it's just your divineness, being
Mhm.
who you truly are, that
Mhm.
essence of who you truly are. And
Mhm.
yes, following it is imperative
Mhm. Mhm.
to
It
our
really
existence,
is.
I believe.
It really is. It really
Hmm.
is. So
Hmm.
you spoke about your ancestors. How did your ancestors come to you?
So funny because they have not left and they show up. I mean, people, the channels and the guy, everybody sees them when I go on platforms and stuff, and whoever the channels are, they're like, your grandmothers, they're all behind you. Yeah. So
Yeah.
so when I was in Panama, I started to, well, my sister friend, we had been friends for years, and she channels the spirits and she talks to spirits on the other side. And we all have that gift, but some people's gift is more in tune than others. She never
Mhm.
told me. So when she finally told me, she brought my dad through, and she was just, I was having a conversation with him. And so through her, and after that happened, I was like, there was a shift in my head. You see, I grew up Christian, but
Mhm.
my mother was also very intelligent, and she was a seeker. She was very curious. So she had a lot of books in the house: Deepak Chopra, Wayne Dyer, Eckhart Tolle. And
Mhm.
and she had those types of books. There was a book by Betty Eady, Return to the Light or something. It was the first NDE that I had ever read.
Mhm.
So my mother had planted some seeds back then. So when my girlfriend, fast forward, when she was speaking, from the other side, I was like, oh my goodness, all of that stuff that I read is true. It's true. So I just
Mhm.
had like everything was going on in my head, like, oh my goodness, I want to know more. Like, what is all of this about? And fast forward, my daughter, she was my permission slip. She she said, "Mommy, you can call your ancestors. You just call the ancestors known and unknown who have your highest good as their intention, the ones that are
Mhm.
evolved, because there are ancestors that are not evolved. They still don't accept that, they probably don't even think that they think they're still alive, you know what I mean? Because
Mhm. Mhm.
you when you transition, you're still there, right? And
Mhm.
so
Yep.
some of them hang around the earth realm and they attach themselves to our negative stories. And so that's
Mhm.
how they stay and keep things stirred up. So she said, be sure to call the ancestors that have evolved and that have your highest good as their intention. So she told me how to set up an altar. And when I got to Panama, I made me a little altar, set it up, put my dad's picture on there, candle, something to represent earth, wind, and fire.
Mhm.
I would go to that little corner space. It was like about like this. And I would go to the little space every morning and I would stand up and say to my ancestors known and unknown who have my highest good as their intention, I call you forth. Just come into my life and show me the way. And I did it every morning, every morning. And then I had a candle. I would light a candle, and sometimes the candle would burn a certain way. So I would take a picture and call my daughter or text her and say, "What does this mean?" And so
Mhm.
she would say, "It means this, it means that." And things started happening. I was using the oracle cards. I was using Goddess Abiola's that what is it? The
Secret of the
God is rising.
ancestors.
The
Oh, the
God is
goddess rising.
rising.
Okay. Okay.
And I was pulling those oracle cards and I was asking certain questions and answers would come through. And I was like, these answers are directed towards me. Like
Uh-huh.
everything is pointing to me. And I
Mhm.
was like, wait a minute, this don't sound right. People have done things to me. You should be talking about them. And
Uh-huh.
everything was pointing back to my own reflection in the
Mhm.
relationships and the wounds that I was carrying and the trauma that I was holding and how I was projecting that into my relationships. And I just began to, and being the person that I am, I was like trying to manipulate the cards. I was shuffling them a different way. I was trying to put cards and manipulate them because the information, the wisdom that was coming through the cards was so on point. I'm like, this is my first time pulling cards, you see? So
Mhm.
I'm like,
Mhm.
how can this be? So in my ego is like, this ain't true. Let me try to manipulate this, And it's the truth, but I could not. I could not.
Mhm.
Every time I would shift the cards a different way or try to manipulate them, the same cards would reappear. I couldn't believe it.
Mhm.
So I started using the oracles. I started journaling. I was doing the African goddess rising rituals. I didn't even know what I was doing, but I was reading. I'm a reader and I like to learn and I'm curious about things. So I was just doing what was in the books. I can follow instructions, I
Right.
like that. I can follow directions, right? So you can't mess that up. And that's how I started calling my ancestors. And yeah, and fast forward, goddess, to last year, I joined a meditation group and we were challenged to do meditation on our own,
Mhm.
about 10 minutes. And I did, and my ancestors showed up and they had a word for me. I mean, I literally was like, I just couldn't believe it. It was just so clear. And yeah, it was very inspirational. And after it was over, I heard them say, go journal. And I went and wrote down everything they said. And they were just, one thing that they said to me is that they were glad that I did not give up because
Mhm.
you never cease to exist. You cannot, because I struggled with suicide. I am a
Mhm.
suicide survivor. And so
Mhm.
I struggled with that since I was 14 years old. And there were just times that I was very close to just hanging up the towel.
Mhm.
And and one of the things that came out, and our interaction is that they said they're glad that I didn't give up, because if you give up, you have to repeat. And I thought, bull crap, I'm not repeating this. I was like, I am definitely not repeating. And it's not like my life has been so bad, but I don't want to repeat the things that I've already done. No,
Right.
I never repeated a grade, and I don't want to repeat this grade. Okay, that's how I thought. So I was like, yeah, good. But it was just, it was a lot of them, God is
Mhm.
Sheila. It wasn't one, it was many. I could feel the presence of many of them, and they are with me all the time, all the time.
Mhm.
And I look
Mhm.
for their guidance all the time. I love them, I honor them, and yes, yes, I hang out with my ancestors.
Hey, it's nothing wrong with that. How do they come to you? Like, how do you hear a voice in your head, or do you hear it outside in your ear, or do you see visions, or how do you know that they're around and what they're saying to you?
Yes, that's a good question. I know they're
Mhm.
around because I know they're here.
Mhm. Mhm.
Because they don't go anytime you call them, they're there. And so
Mhm.
I know that. It's nothing that I have to get up. So when I get up, I just know they're present, and
Mhm.
I just give them honor. But yes, I have heard them. It was pretty much audible. It's not all the
Mhm.
time audible, but it is audible. Also, my girlfriend, my sister friend, she will call me and say, your grandmother is saying da 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 da, and
Right.
or your dad is saying da 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 da. And I'm like, what? I mean, she couldn't have known that.
Mhm.
And so it's that way, and also through the oracles, the oracle
Right.
decks. Yes, so secrets of the ancestors, now Oshun, because our ancestors are not just the ancestors through our lineage too. We have cosmic ancestors, right? We're
Yes, we
not.
do.
Yes. So there are ancestors that come through the oracle. I hear them. I just know. It's like this knowing. I understand that's claircognizant. And
Mhm.
it's just this knowing. It's like it's just there. I can feel it. So not so much dreams. I wish, but I don't remember my dreams.
Me
I don't
neither.
remember dreams too much.
I always say
But
I don't dream really.
no, no, we all do. This is where we go
Yeah.
back, to our
Mhm.
natural state. This
Mhm.
is not our natural state. Our natural state is in the spirit realm. So when we go to sleep at night, we're probably like teaching souls who want to come to earth. We could
Yeah.
be teaching them, we could be meeting up to play with each other and say, "Oh my goodness, this is what we're going to do." Da, 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 da. We could be doing all of those things. But yeah, that degree of spiritual Alzheimer's is what we have, a degree of that. That is all a part of the deal of coming to earth, that we do not remember,
Yep.
you
That
know,
is it.
our
That
natural, so
veil is
that we can
closed.
continue. Yes. And some people though, they do have some pre-birth experience and memory, but yeah, I don't. So yeah, that's very interesting. It's just interesting because we're remembering who we really are. So it's like
Mhm.
sometimes we're talking and we say, I'm working on this, or I'm becoming that, and da 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 da. We're not becoming anything. Creation is complete. We are already
Mhm.
it. We're just
Mhm.
remembering, going, on our
Mhm.
journey, remembering who we are and getting back
Mhm.
to our own divinity and knowing that. Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Mhm.
So I know you had an experience in the Akashic records. If you don't mind sharing and let people know what the Akashic records are and what your experience was in that.
That's a really good question. It's
Mhm.
a good question in that my mother told me about the book of life when I was younger, in my
Mhm.
20s, maybe my early 20s. And she talked about, there is a book. It's called the book of life, and it has everything about you in it.
Mhm.
Everything. And I'm like, really? Like, yes, your name. She put her hand on the table. She said, your name is in it and everything about you. It's called the book of life. So I was like, All right, cool. Sounds very scary to me because I'm thinking, I've done some things in my life. It is all written down in the book. So, having that upbringing of Christianity, I thought, okay, well, God is not going to like me. I didn't think God liked me because I did some things, I was doing all the things that they said don't do.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I had my extent with drugs. I've been in a drug rehab, I've got a lot of
Mhm.
stuff under my belt. So I was like, surely God does not even like me. And all of the stuff that's in my book, he's probably displeased with it. So fast forward to now, just last year, I started hearing about the Akashic records. And that those are records, a compendium of records that are compiles all of your experiences in
Mhm.
this lifetime, past lifetimes, like everything that you have actually done. Your little
Mhm.
soul has come down here as light and has been, you know, casted out in different areas, I guess at different times, and all of it's written down in this book. And so
Mhm.
I was like, oh my gosh, interesting. I want to go into the Akashic records because I had some programs I didn't know, but some programs that I wanted to be cleared and that I felt like they were holding me back. Those
Mhm.
strong energetic connections that we have to people, places and things possibly that hold you back. So I I found a really awesome practitioner and she took me into the records and she cleared some things, but she also told me that this is called the book of life. The Akashic records is the book of life. And I was like, oh my gosh, my mother was planting seeds back then,
Mhm.
this is what she was
Mhm.
doing. She was planting seeds for me back then to that are taking root right now. And
Mhm.
so yeah, I really love that. I had a really good experience in the Akashic records, but I was guided too. I can tell you this, I did take a course. So after I went through the 3 sessions,
Mhm.
listen, she cleared some programs and she can see all of the programs that you have agreed to, because we have agreed to be here.
That's
We've
right.
agreed to these experiences. We cannot show
Mhm.
up as a victim if you agreed to this. Now, I
Mhm.
didn't take this too lightly, Goddess Sheila, because I was like, I didn't agree to shit. And I am
You're right.
telling you the truth. I was like, I didn't agree to this. And I fought it and resisted it for months because I was like, who would agree to this? You're like, this is not true. Nobody's agreeing to war. Nobody's agreeing to abuse. And so, yeah, me and God and all whoever's listening, my entire team. I'm telling you, I am exactly like this what I'm talking to. Whenever there are moments of resistance, I'm like that. Like I don't want to hear from anybody because this doesn't make sense. But
Right.
it, but they love us so unconditionally. I love that. They allow me to
Mhm.
go through all of my stuff and so yes, the Akashic Records has been a really good experience for me. And so I wanted to know more. And I was led to other Oracle decks. And so I pulled the decks and it just actually, just confirmed me being in the records, understanding what the records were. And also that I felt very comfortable when I first went there by myself. So I had the experience with the practitioner, but then I took a free course. Dr.
Mhm.
Josephine Hardman, she has a free
Mhm.
course. And
Mhm.
so I took her course and I went into the records
Mhm.
myself. And when I first got into the records, and it's all done through meditation, of course.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
so uh telepathically, you know, and when I ascended into the records, when I first got into the records, and everything is used as symbols. And see, for me, I mean, it's so funny because I'm so black and white. I like for it to whatever is written is what it is. I'm not a person that uses symbols or anything to. I never was like that. I'm like, what does it say? Then this is what it is. So this whole spiritual awakening, it is not like that. They have so many symbols and you
Yep.
just use it to represent stuff. So I'm having to like really change my mindset in my brain. But when I was in the records, and this is funny, this is a testament to, me explaining just who I am. When I first got into the records, I was jumping, flipping off the walls. Like I literally saw myself flipping and running up and jumping, and just like I was just excited. And I felt like this kid that I used to serve. He was ADD. He was 5, and he climbed up my bookcase in my office and up and down, and he was everywhere. I felt like that. But I was also very cognizant that I was like, this is inappropriate. This is what I was thinking. But because like I'm just jumping up all over, and it was like it's like a library on steroids. So
Mhm.
this is what the
Mhm.
Akashic records look like, and it's endless. It's endless. So I saw the walls open up, and it was just endless rows of books. And so I was conscious. I was like, "Oh my gosh, these people are going to put me out of here," in my head, but I couldn't stop flipping around. And so it wasn't until and I could feel the record keepers
Mhm.
stand back. They just stood back, and it's like they allowed me to just be free and jump and just do what I was doing. And then finally I left the records, and I did whatever else I was supposed to do, but I left the records, and it wasn't until maybe 3 days later I was like, I felt bad. I mean, I journaled. I was like, maybe they don't want me to come back. I was crawling up their ladders and doing type of stuff, but I wasn't really doing it. It was a symbol of me being so excited that I was home, and I didn't even
Mhm.
connect to that. I was like, oh my gosh, I came out of the records like, Lord, these people are not going to want me to come back. And but it wasn't that. It was just in it was a symbol of my excitement of being home. I felt very
Mhm.
at home there, and the fact that they just stood back and allowed me to just be free to do what because I could feel them. I could see them. There were no faces, but I could see that
Mhm.
they were all standing back, just saying, just let her be happy, let her be home. And
Mhm.
that was
Mhm.
just so cool. So I went back, 2 more times. I've gone back a few times by myself, but it's
Mhm.
just very significant when I went in there, understanding that there were symbols and yeah, things happen after you go into your records. You become more aware of your purpose. You can ask what's holding you back. And you have to trust what you see and trust what you hear and trust what is in your vision, what's in your mind's eye, and not
Mhm.
question it. Because some things might not even, you have to also think about your expectations, what your experience is, what you've learned, what do you think about this? All of those things are carrying into the records, but just really, yeah, this whatever we were taught, whatever we were taught in church, and some of it is true, but a lot of it is just different. It is not.
All
We are
right.
we are spirits, and yeah, our ancestors are living. There are angel guides all around me, all
Yes.
around
Yes.
you, and I
Yes.
just love that. I love that. I love that we're not alone. I do.
Yeah. And
It's
it's
helpful.
amazing. It's very helpful. Like you do well, I went to all Catholic school. So
Me
you are
too.
taught about the angels and the guardian angels and everything. But when you at that age you really well for me, I was like, "Oh, okay." But when you really come into yourself and you start experiencing it just by chance, you say, okay, well, if there is, if you are Archangel Michael, I want to see a feather, a red feather. And all of a sudden, you go out your back door and there's a red feather, or there's something red, a picture or painting or something that make you want to say, well, that's different.
Yes.
Okay, okay, because you don't believe it the first time, so you want to do it again. Okay, okay, let's try another one. But when you finally make that turn,
Mm-hmm.
um, it's forever life changing. You don't look
Yeah.
at things the same again. Like I'm spiritual, I have researched and looked at all religions, and I took from each religion what I felt resonated in me, because that God put that in me.
Mhm.
Some people don't agree with that. Some people are like, "Oh, do you believe in God?" Yes, I do. I do. I believe there is a higher being. I believe there is a God. Or we
Mhm.
wouldn't even be here.
Right.
But there are certain things that are unique that you have to learn on your own, because you can tell somebody all day and show them things all day, but until they actually experience it and read it and see it for themselves and actually do the research, then they make that flip or that turn.
Mhm.
Um, yeah,
I
yeah.
totally agree. I really agree with
Mhm.
that, and I'm just not researching any more religious nothing. No religious
Mm-mm.
nothing,
Because
Christianity,
it's in
Buddha.
us.
I'm not doing any of the research of anymore.
Mhm.
I felt like I did
Mhm.
enough, and I feel some resistance to religion. I just do. And
Mhm.
whatever I need to know, I just believe that the universe will allow me the wisdom to know it, to give me the clarity. It's all within me. I can
Mhm.
hear, I can see, I can feel, and I know. And so I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna just go with,
Mhm.
Deborah Carson Baptist University, whatever. It's gonna be my
Right.
universe. Yeah, like I'm just only going for what's inside of me. That's
Mhm.
it. No,
I
nothing
I
else.
agree. I agree, because it is the essence within. We were all
It
born
is.
with that. All the
Yes.
answers are within us, and that's a fact. So whether you choose to listen, that's a whole different story. I was
Mhm.
hard-headed. I'm still kind of hard-headed, but I know better now. And that's the whole point of growing and your growth.
Yes.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And there is no right time. God's
Mm-mm.
timing is always perfect in every way. So
Yep.
we are on a journey, and the process is the point, and the journey is the destination. So there is no
Mhm.
reason for us to be rushing to get to anything, because we're all
Mhm.
going to get there. And so it's just like relax and allow. And sometimes it's hard because I want things to happen. I want things
Mhm.
to, happen. And
Mhm.
so, but they're happening. And I really truly want to live my highest potential while I'm
Mhm.
here at this time. Obviously, I have chosen to be here, and so I want to make like the grandest best of it.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do. Now
I don't
here
want to waste it.
recently, no, no, absolutely not. Now recently you and four or five other women got together and had this beautiful union um, of everything. Could you tell us a little bit about that, and where people, who want to see it, where they can find it to watch that, and also your new one on Sunday?
Oh, good. Okay, yes, I had this grand inspiration to I it really came from the ancestors. I chose the women that I was given the inspiration to choose,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted it to, I said I got this inspiration to have an overcoming fear roundtable so that we can talk about it, because fear is a big factor in most people's lives. Fear is holding people back from
Mm-hmm.
living their true potential. Fear
Mm-hmm.
of something, fear of ill health, fear of poverty, fear of being judged, fear of losing the loss of love, fear of death, fear of aging. There's something, right? And so
Yep.
those are the six basic fears that Napoleon Hill talks about, and I totally agree with it. However, I have created um, six feminine archetypes of fear that relate to women. So back to the overcoming fear. I got together and I said, "Hey, you guys, this is what I'm getting in my download. This is what we can do. You guys want to do it? You ladies want to do it?" And they
Mm-hmm.
were like, "Yeah, sure, sure." And that then birthed into one of the goddesses was like, well, I'm going to be off work, so we need to do a 3-day event. And we did a 2-day one, just kind of talking about fear. And there was really not a lot of time, but it came together very well.
Mhm.
And then one of the goddesses got together and said, hey, we can offer this for free. We can offer the services, because like you and all the other goddesses, we all have our own magic. And
Mhm.
so we did this 3-day retreat. And Goddess Marnie offered a wound meditation. One of my other
Mhm.
sisters from Panama, she is a soul contract reader. And then
Mhm.
uh Esty did some hypnosis, and I talked about the 6 feminine archetypes of fear, and
Mhm.
and just for people to connect with, see yourself in be honest with the fact that you have some fears buried under there. And then Devette is, my sister friend who does the channeling. So,
Mhm.
she offered her magic, and we made it into a course. So it's free. You can go back there and you can download, log into the course and go on the replays and actually do the meditation. The wound meditation was very significant. Our wound is connected to our throat chakra.
Yep. Mhm. When
And
I
I
saw
didn't
that
know that.
picture, I was
Did you see
amazed.
it? Did you see it?
Yes, I did. I was like, "Oh my God, you will."
Yeah.
It's just like, what? I mean, and the larynx, everything. I mean, it was just that those pictures were
Yeah.
amazing because
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
something you will never even put two and two together. But you would not put two and two together with that.
No,
Uh-uh.
I didn't
Mm-mm.
know. So thank God for
Mm-mm.
Goddess Money and doing that meditation. And now I speak to my wound every morning. Every
Mm-hmm.
morning. I
Mm-hmm.
do. And so that healing is quite necessary. And we
Mm-hmm.
don't know, because we've just been, living in our spiritual Alzheimer's and
Mm-hmm.
not
Yeah.
remembering who we are. So
Yeah.
once we start to get this clarity and this awakening of so much that we can do to heal ourselves and to speak to our wound and speak to our body parts, we can heal any disease that we have. And I believe in that. I really believe in it. So yeah, we have that course. And then I started a new series called Beyond Belief.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we're taking the Bible and we are talking about it esoterically, because my girlfriend, she has this amazing way of taking the Bible and turning it into a piece of raw consciousness that
Mm-hmm.
you can connect to,
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm-hmm.
you actually become the Moses at the burning bush. It's not
Mm-hmm.
Moses that is separate from you. It is you at the burning
Yep.
bush, right?
Yeah.
It is you with the desolate or the bearing consciousness, right? It
Mm-hmm.
is you that the burning bush, that spirit of fire is coming to engulf you and ignite
Mm-hmm.
what's inside of you. So she is talking about the Bible in a way that it can be controversial to a bunch of Christians out there. I love
Oh,
that.
absolutely. Absolutely.
But
I
I
watch
think
it.
that,
Sometimes I catch the replays, but I watch it. I was like, oh my.
yeah,
But,
yeah.
but, but if you have an open mind and you think about it, it makes a lot of sense.
It makes so much sense, and we have got to
Mm-hmm.
do something different, because what we have been doing before, it's not working. It didn't work for
Mm-hmm.
me. I'm still, in my madness, in my wanting not to be here, in my
Mm-hmm.
suicidal thoughts, and I'm still feeling anxious and having some depression and irritable and using my brain space to worry about things that I shouldn't be worrying about.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't until I started to go within myself that I began to release all of these traumas and identify these fears and where they came from, and started to take a look at my belief system, my belief about myself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it wasn't until I started doing those things that I realized, I am okay. I can heal from this. I can release these things, these traumas, these memories, the past. I can disconnect energetically. I can
Mm-hmm.
sever energetic cords with people, and that we are all here for our own purpose and our own journey. And I s- I stopped taking things so personally.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everything is
Mm-hmm.
not about me. It's the four agreements that
Yeah.
that book is. It helped me a lot not to
Mm-hmm.
take things personally.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that so hopefully people can join us at 6 I know I'm jumping around here, but
On
hopefully people
Sunday.
can join us on Sundays at 6:30. It's a live
Mm-hmm.
stream and you get to ask questions and chime in or catch us on the replay, but we're going to be here for a while. I'm going to park it right here because the conversation is needed, and
Mm-hmm.
I am just happy to be co-hosting with my sister friend who, when she first was speaking, to me uh through the spirit, or speaking to me from the spirit side, I was like, "Oh my gosh, we have got to help people because a lot of people are in grief thinking that their loved ones are just gone forever or somewhere, and they are right there.
Mm-hmm.
And our ancestors really are standing ready to help us. They
Mm-hmm.
are. But they're not going to come until we sincerely call them. They
Mm-hmm.
they are not to interfere. This is our journey. But
Right.
once we call them, we have to call them. You cannot
Mm-hmm.
just like think that they're going to get in there, and no, they're not. You have to build a relationship with your ancestors from the other side, and they are so welcoming and they're so ready to have that relationship and to help us to heal things in our bloodline, because there are a lot of things that they could not they could not do, but they have the opportunity through us. And
Mm-hmm.
so, yeah, I'm very honored to to have a relationship with my ancestors. It's just like having a relationship with you, except they know all. And they
Right.
yeah, yeah, and that's how
And
I see it.
people will be surprised. Your ancestors may not be who you think your ancestors are.
Mhm.
Like when I was told, apparently I'm Irish, that I come from Ireland, and so I have an Irish ancestry. And they told me to for me to research, um, look up things that I know, but having me remember.
Mhm.
Um, but I was when I was told that, I was like, what? No, I didn't see that coming. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I didn't see that
yeah.
coming at all.
Mhm.
But apparently, yeah. So I always tell people that from my experience, keep an open mind, because I'm thinking my ancestors, I have Indian descent, so I'm thinking shamans and stuff. None of that. No, that's not what came through that day. But I
Yeah.
welcome, and I'm very thankful, and I'm happy. I'm very happy about that. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, your
yeah.
grandmother had a mother, had a mother, had a mother, had a mother. Your
Mhm.
grandfather
Mhm.
had a father, had a father, had a father, had a father. So
Mhm.
there are ancestors that we would even never know that, but they know us.
Yes.
They
And
know us.
apparently, very strongly, they know us very strongly.
Yes, we
So,
come as
mhm.
one, but we stand as 10,000.
Yep.
10,000, we are not alone. And
Mhm.
more than 10,000, but that is the famous Maya Angelou says that. And
Mhm.
it's the truth. We're not by ourselves. And also, again, we have cosmic ancestors.
Yeah. And your soul contracts with people and your family, and you'd be surprised. People should it's just so much out there. It's like a whole nother world once you a whole nother world. And it's good. It's
It
all
is good.
truly good. It's nothing bad, nothing crazy that some people may think, it is truly good, and it can do nothing but help you and enhance you and love you and know that you're not alone in anything in your life.
That's right. We are not
Hmm.
alone. And
No, we're not.
I think it's so important, though, whenever you're going through a spiritual awakening and your transformation, that you be connected to a really safe community where you can
Hmm.
integrate some of the things that will happen to you once you do start to open yourself up to your ancestors and to this entire spiritual portal,
Hmm.
and the wisdom and the things, information that comes through it. It's going to be, you've forgotten who you are, so it's mind boggling. It's some, you lose really your ego, your identity,
Yep.
because
Hmm.
yeah, I just, I don't have the same friends as I
Hmm.
used to.
Hmm.
Yeah, that changed. And even, family members, and that changed. I don't have the same
Hmm.
relationships. And at first it was, we're so attached to our families. We're very much energetically connected to our families, and
Yep.
you want to, that's the first thing you think is, "Oh my gosh, I can't lose family. Who's going to support me? Who's going to be there for me?" But you don't lose family. There's no loss. There's
No.
no loss. No, it's just we're on different journeys, and some family members I don't want to be bothered with, and that's just the truth. So I just don't.
So at this point in your life, what do you feel is the most valuable lesson that you have learned out of your just experiencing what you have experienced over the last year? What is the most valuable lessons that you at this point could take away?
To love myself.
Hmm.
That is to love myself, to believe in me, to know that I am the divine. I am an
Hmm.
extension, a fractal, an idea, one of the greatest ideas of source. That is me. That is you. And so I have learned that the greatest love of all is self-love.
Hmm.
When I love myself, I am free to love all.
Hmm.
If I don't love myself, I am going to project whatever it is that I feel about myself. I'm going to project that right onto you.
Hmm.
I don't want to live in
Absolutely.
projection outside of love. I want to live in projection of love, right? I
Hmm.
want to be who I truly am, which is love, unconditional love. So that is the biggest awakening, is that I am to love myself.
Hmm.
Self-love is the greatest. Self-love is the greatest love of all. And that I'm not alone, that I am here, that our ancestors are right on the other side of what we don't see. And they
Yep.
love me. They love me. I am so guided and protected. And yeah, I wake up saying stuff to them.
Hmm.
I do. So that's, and that we're all connected. We're all one. We're all connected.
Yep.
And I like it. I like feeling the energy of someone else, and knowing, like, we're living in a world of energy. We are all energy. So we
Yes,
really
we
need
are
to
all
realize
energy.
that when be careful about what you feel about someone, because they will know.
Hmm.
You see, I can feel you. If you tell me you love me, but you don't, I know that you don't. This is the
Hmm.
world that we're living in. We're not living in a world of shadows anymore, and
Hmm.
living behind the veil. We are all energy, and we are moving. We are shifting in that consciousness. We are elevating ourselves, all of us.
Hmm.
And in some sort of way. And so we can feel each other now. And I love that. I can feel the energy of a person that I walk up. But we've been feeling that, though. We should not say that this is something new, because, we have to honestly say that at some point in our life, we would say, "Oh, I just didn't feel good. Like, I ain't feel good about her, or I didn't feel good about him, or this made me
Hmm.
feel a certain way when I." That's because you can feel that energy. Well, that's
Hmm.
the world we're living in now, where we don't even have to talk to each other. We can just talk through, just through feeling, through our meditation, our contact with each other telepathically. I like that. That's very interesting. So, yeah. So this is what I learned. This is
It
what's been
is.
good for me so far. Yeah.
Well, I love you. And
I
I
love you.
thank you for coming and sharing your love and your heart and your honesty. Um, tell us or tell the world where they can find you, my goddess.
Yes, I love you too. I do. I love you too. You are my sister. We agreed to
Mhm.
this and we met and it was inseparable and it
Yep.
still is. And I'm just so proud of you. I'm happy that you started this channel. Um the essence of who you are. So you can
Mhm.
find me on YouTube at the Fear to Freedom Project. Like and subscribe and hang out with us on Sundays at 6:30. Follow me there. And I'm on like TikTok, Instagram, and LinkedIn under Dr. Deborah Enjoying Life. That's
That's
me.
right.
Yeah. So, yeah, maybe you could put that in the show notes. But yes, I'm going to have a lot of amazing courses and things coming out so people can heal and just live in their most divine self. I love that. I love that. I'm excited
I
about that.
do too. I
Yes.
do.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you, goddess.
You are so welcome.
Well, well, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, bye for now.